Hey my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie Wendy and today's video will be centered around budgeting. So if you're that person who have been looking to become a much more prudent spender, or maybe over the years you've been a spendthrift, you've not been very intentional with how you spend your money, or you've been very lackadaisical with the way you spend your money, but you actually want to turn a new leaf, you want to be more clever and more frugal with how you spend money, well, I got you covered, because on today's video I will be teaching you all budgeting using the 50-30-20 rule, where I give you simple steps, tricks and tips on how to navigate budgeting. If you're new to this channel, please kindly click on the red subscribe button below to become a part of this family, and if you end up enjoying the video, which I'm very sure you would, kindly give this video a big thumbs up. Now, all that being said, let's get right into the video. Comes to budgeting, I believe the first question we all should ask ourselves is, what is budgeting? I'm going to be defining budgeting using a very simple, comprehensive and layman term. Budgeting is just the process of creating or mapping out a plan on how you intend to spend your money or your income every month. Now, I know that there are some people who earn income every 2 weeks, some people earn their income every week, and some people earn their income every month. It doesn't matter whatever situation is for you. It's just a process of just taking your paper, taking your pen, putting pen to paper, mapping out a plan, or creating a spreadsheet using a Microsoft Excel to just map out or plan out how your expenses will be each month. To the importance of budgeting, there are several and so many importance of budgets. I mean, there are so many reasons why I personally will encourage everyone out there to start budgeting their income every month. Number one is that it encourages financial stability. Number two is that it helps you reduce the debt you accumulate for yourself. Number three is that it helps you check and track your spending. Now, imagine a situation where you earn your income every month, but before the month even runs out, you find out that you have zero balance in your account, and you don't even know how the entire money vanished. Or you're someone who earns like $5,000 every month, or you earn $2,000 every month, and before the end of the month you're looking for all your money. You don't even know how you spent that money for that month. That is what budgeting helps you avoid, because if you're someone who have already cultivated the habit of budgeting, every month once you receive that your income, you will set aside money for different purposes. You will not have to run dry, you will not have to be left high and dry, you will not have to be broke before the end of the month. So there are so many reasons. In the same breath, you will not have to, because it is someone who lacks that goes to loan sharks or go to all these companies that give out loan to borrow money. You won't have to acquire debts for yourself, because most times when you borrow this money, more often than not, you see that they are not able to pay back this money, and maybe they will give something very important to them as collateral, which will thereby end up affecting them. So I mean, there are so many other reasons which you can go on Google, check, but while I will personally encourage people to budget, you just want to have this financial stability in your life. You want to be this kind of person that every month when you receive your income, you just plan out your life, plan out how you intend to spend your money each month, and how you just want things to go for you that month. That way you will be financially content. I mean, talking of financial contentment in the sense that let's take for instance, this month you've budgeted down everything you need, you've planned how this month will go, using your budget list and whatever, but you did not include maybe getting a new wig, or maybe you go on Instagram and you see this very nice wig that you want, but personally you did not include it in your budget list. Now, because you are disciplined and because you've cultivated the habit of budgeting, you won't see the need to go to your bank account and take out a large chunk of money just to go and purchase that hair, thereby affecting what that money was initially meant for. Because you have cultivated this habit of budgeting, you will be financially content. What you can do in that situation is maybe you will move that hair or that wig that you want to the coming month, so that when that month comes, you will then budget it into your list. So it helps with, there's so many reasons why. I mean, there's several importance of budgeting, but this is just the little I can give now. You can go online, you can go on Google and search for more. Now, next is creating a budget plan. How do you create a budget plan? Like I said, I'm going to be talking about budgeting using the 50-30-20 rule. Now, the first thing to do when you want to create your budget plan is determine your sources of income or your source of income, whatever the case might be for you. I mean, this point is very relative, because when I mean determine your source of income, different strokes for different folks. So different people earn money from different places. Some people earn money from their 9 to 5, some people are entrepreneurs, some people are YouTubers, some people have 3 streams of income, some people have 1 stream of income, while some people have 2 streams of income. Depending on your own situation, you need to determine your own source of income by adding what you get from your 9 to 5 with what you get from your business, and also what, maybe if you're a YouTuber, what you also get from YouTube, adding them and summing them all together. Now, I also like to say that before you write down your income in your budget list, I advise you to know the country where you reside, because in countries like the US, the UK and Canada, we have situations where I've heard they pay their taxes like before their salaries are being paid to them. They have to deduct these taxes from their salaries. So when they are getting their salaries, the taxes must have already been deducted. But in the region or the country where I reside, which is Nigeria, such things do not occur here. You get your salary in full, you get your income in full. If you're a business owner, you receive whatever you earn in full at the end of the month. If you're a salary earner, that is, you're working 9 to 5, you also receive your salary in full at the end of the month. Where you reside, just know that if you reside in the western part of the world, know that taxes are usually deducted at the end of the month. But if you reside in probably Nigeria or some other African countries, you know that you don't have to worry about taxes. So that is the first step: determine your income source. Is the 50-30-20 rule. 50-30-20 rule states that 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30% of your income goes to your wants, and 20% of your income goes to your debts / savings. Your needs are those things that you need in order to live and function, those things that you cannot do without, those things that every month you find out that you have to pay for them in order to have a, in order to live well. Example, you have food, you have clothing, you have shelter, you need to pay for your rent, you need to eat, you need to drink water. All these are your needs. Your wants are those things that just help you improve your quality of living. They are not things that you cannot do without. You can actually do without them, but they just help you improve your quality of living. Like example, when you need to travel, you need to go see the movies, you need to eat out. All these are your wants. Now, what are savings / debt? I mean, a lot of people should understand savings / debt. Savings are like money you set aside every month for maybe a long-term goal. Maybe you're saving towards getting a car, or you're saving towards your education, or you're saving towards buying a house. All those things are savings. All these are long-term goals. Then what are debts? Debts are those things you acquire. What I said at the start of this video, where I said that when you lack the spirit of budgeting, or when you do not train yourself to learn how to budget, you end up borrowing money and in the same breath acquiring debts for yourself, which at the end of the day you might have to give a big collateral, something that is very dear and important to you. You might have to use that as collateral, in case you won't be able to pay back that debt. So that is. So right now I am going to be walking you through how I made this budget list. I'm very sorry, I'm not going to be writing it as I speak. I've already written it out, and that's because I don't want this video to be unnecessarily too lengthy. So if you remember, I said you need to determine your income source. That is, if you live in probably the US or UK or Canada, after your tax has been removed, maybe $2,000 is what you have left. Or maybe if you reside in Nigeria, maybe your tax was not removed. You still have your $2,000, whatever the case is for you. I made reference to that when I was talking initially. So you write out your income source, you write out whatever you earn at the end of the month. So let's call this person Mr. Peter. Exactly, he earns $2,000 every month. Now, going by the 50-30-20 rule as stated when I made the video, I said that 50% of your income should go to your needs, 30% 80% of your income should go to your wants, while 20% of your income should go to your savings / your debts. So this is how I create my budget list every month. This is not my budget list per se. I just made like a rough sketch of a reasonable budget list for anyone, or a reasonable budget list that anyone can make. So you draw 2 lines. Yes, one of which should be for the needs, one should be for the wants, and the one should be for your savings / debt. So we're going to be doing a little bit of mathematics here, just to break this down, where we have to divide. We need to bring out 50% of $2,000 to determine how much will be spent on the needs. We need to bring out 30% of $2,000 to determine how much will be for the wants, and 20% for the savings to determine how much will be for the savings. So using my calculator, like I said, we're going to be doing a little bit of mathematics here to determine 50% of $2,000. So here we go. 50% of $2,000, all you need to do is just 50 divided by 100. That's 0.5 multiplied by $2,000. So that's, you can see what we got, $1,000, which are already stated here. The same thing would do for 30%. That is 30 divided by 100, which is 0.3 multiplied by 2,000, which is $600, of which I already wrote down here. Same thing would do for the 20%. 20 divided by 100, which is 0.2 multiplied by 2,000, which is $400, as you can see here. So now that we know that out of this $2,000, $1,000 will go to the needs, $600, I beg your pardon, will go to the wants, whilst $400 will go to the savings / debt. Now we'll start to create the budget plan. Now for Mr. Peter, like I said, under his needs, basically rent is very important. You have to live, you need shelter in order to have a good living, whatever the case might be. Rent, house, shelter is very important. So for his rent, he pays $500 for his rent. Medicals, his medicals most times, sometimes in some situations, you might not actually make use of these medicals because you don't fall sick every month, but it's still always good to have like reservations just in case of unforeseen circumstances. So for Mr. Peter, his medicals is $100. He reserves $100 for his medicals. Now I would like to say something, that for this rent, specifically for this rent, now it depends on where you reside. So if you reside in places like the US, the UK and Canada, from what I've heard, I know they pay their rents every month, so basically the rent will be under your needs. But in countries like Nigeria, where I reside, the rent is usually paid every year. It's something you pay yearly, so annually. So in such scenarios or in such situation, I would advise that if you live in a country like Nigeria, your rent shouldn't be under your needs, rather your rent should be under your savings. Okay, but for people that live in countries like America, the UK and Canada, your rent should be under your needs because you pay your rent every month. Now I've made mention of the medicals. We move on to light. Light is very important because without light, you don't want to live in the dark. So light is also a basic need. You need light to function well. Fuel for the home. Now this fuel for the home is specifically for my Nigerian folks. I don't think abroad they necessarily need generators in their houses, but here in Nigeria we do not have light 24/7. So having a generator is, it's something that is needed. It's very basic here in Nigeria. I feel like everyone needs to own a generator because you don't get to have light 24/7. So that's why I made reference to, I mentioned the fuel for the home, which is for your generator, and Mr. Peter reserved $25 for his fuel at home. Then transportation, now this is relative. If you own a car, this would be for fueling the car. I mean, if it's abroad, it will say for your gas, the gas for your car. But if you don't own a car, then this should be for your transportation, like if you enter maybe Bolt, Uber, or Taxify, whatever the case might be. $50, Mr. Peter reserved $50 for that purpose. Then water is very important. I mean, here in Nigeria, most apartments buy water every month. It's necessary because at the end of the month, you would notice that if you live in apartments or houses where you have to pay for water every month, you notice that at the end of the month, there's usually no more water running in the house until the recharge is made, or until everyone pays the money for water. So for water, Mr. Peter reserves $8 for his water. Then this is now subscription. We have Netflix. I mean, majority of people use Netflix these days. Mr. Peter reserved $5 for his Netflix. DSTV, this is relative to people who live in some part of Africa. DSTV and GoTV is also a subscription we use here in Nigeria, and I think in also some African countries. So Mr. Peter reserved $15 for his DSTV subscription. His Apple Music, I mean, music is very I feel like music is important. I mean, it helps you, it uplifts your soul once in a while. Sometimes you don't want to walk and you just want to listen to something. You just want to listen to, if you don't want to listen to a podcast, you can actually listen to good music. So Mr. Peter reserves $2 for his Apple Music. Then data, this is internet. Mr. Peter uses probably SpectraNet at home, whatever Wi-Fi, MiFi he uses at home. He reserves $30 for his data, because data as well is very, very important. Without your data, I don't think you can work or you can function properly, because I mean, you use your data to surf the internet, to literally work. So, and even aside working, you need data, to be to have a lot of information, because a lot is going on in the world now, and without data, I don't think you can access all this information, all this vital information, and everything going on in the world. You need data for it. So Mr. Peter reserves $30 for that purpose. Then moving on to food/grocery, I mean, this is very, very, very important, because you need food to survive. I mean, food is it's a basic need. It's one of the most important needs on this list, I must say. So Mr. Peter reserves $100 for that purpose. Then trash, I mean, you can't live with your trash at home. You need to take out the trash. Some people take out their trash, like some people have to pay the trash organization or agency every month. Like here in Nigeria where I reside, we have people like Loma, we have to pay this every month, in order for them to come to our place to take our trash. So Mr. Peter reserves $7 for this purpose. And finally, gas. This gas is basically the gas he uses at home, I mean, to cook and all that. So reserve $20 for that purpose. So a sum total of everything, I already calculated it, is $884. So out of the $1,000 he calculated for his needs, he ended up spending $884, or he ended up budgeting everything he needs for that month. Came $884. That means he has some money left. He has $116 left from his needs. Now moving on to his wants. Now, mind you, if you do not know the definition of needs, wants, and savings, you can just go back a little bit. I already explained it when initially in the video. You would see my definitions there, so you can just take out 2 minutes to go back and watch that again. So moving on to the wants, like I said, these are things that are not so important. I mean, you can do without them, but you just kind of like need them to just improve your quality of living. You know, sometimes you don't just want to be eating home cooked meal. You want to go out, you want to eat out, with friends and whatever the case might be. So that's why Eat Out is on the monthly, because once in a while you just want to treat yourself. You want to go out, you don't want to cook at home, you want to eat something else, something really nice. So you take yourself out, you take your friends out, and you just have a very nice meal. So Mr. Peter reserved $100 for this purpose. Maybe Mr. Peter that month he wanted to go see a movie at the cinema. Like I remember when this movie premiered at the cinema, Brotherhood, a lot of people went to see the movie. So Mr. Peter reserved $40 for this purpose. Oh my goodness, I called him Mr. Peter and I forgot that I wrote a new wig. Okay, maybe we should stop saying Mr. Peter. Let's say Stephanie. Let me use my name. I'm really sorry for saying Mr. Peter because Mr. Peter cannot wear a wig, so I'm sorry about that. So let me say Stephanie now. So Stephanie wants a new wig this month, so she has to budget it down because she has already made inquiries about the wig and they told her the wig is $300. So Stephanie would reserve $300 for the new wig. And finally, to perfumes. I mean, you all know that I love perfumes so much, and I'm always looking out for one of the new perfumes out there and whatever, because I really love perfume. So maybe I saw this new perfume that I want to purchase and I already made inquiries about it and they said it is $100, so I reserved $100 for that purpose. Now if you notice, this perfume, now this is why this is the difference between the needs and the wants, because now for this perfume, it's not like I don't have other perfumes I use. It's not like I don't have a signature scent or an office scent or whatever the case might be, but it's just that I saw this new scent and I want to get it because I like it. That's why I'm buying it. So it's not like I need it per se. It's not like I need it, like I do not have anyone that I'm using, but it's just that I want it. So that's the difference between your needs and your wants. For your needs, you need to cook at home, you need to eat, but you don't necessarily have to eat out. So that's the difference. You don't necessarily have to buy a new wig because you have some wigs. You don't necessarily have to buy a perfume because you already have a perfume. So that's just the difference. Sorry for deviating. A total of the wants, after calculating everything, putting 100, 40, 300 and 100, I got $540. So I have a remainder here of 60. Out of the $600, I budgeted $540 from the ones, and yeah, I have $60 remaining. So we'll keep that aside and we'll move over to the savings / debt. So for this part, I have $400 allocated to the savings / debt. So for my long-term savings, long-term investment, I mean, this is very crucial. This is very important. Anyone who earns an income every month and do not have a savings plan, or do not is not saving money somewhere for the future, then I'm sorry, I don't know what you're doing, because this is very important. In fact, I'm a preacher of, when you earn your money first, when you get your salary or your income, take out this one first, like your savings, settle it first before you even move over to this other two. That's how I function. So this for Stephanie is the long-term savings. Out of this $400, for my long-term savings, I set aside $200 for that. And then I mean, investments are very key these days. A lot of people invest. I don't think you should just rely on savings alone, because there's only so much your savings would earn you. But when you invest, when you learn how to invest and you invest properly, you get more returns from there. So Stephanie reserves $100 for her investments every month. Then probably Stephanie is saving for a car. Maybe she's saving for a car. Like if you remember when I made mention of the transportation, I reserved $50 for that. But when you have a car, you don't necessarily have to spend this $50 anymore. So maybe Stephanie is saving to get a car very soon, maybe at the end of the year. So she saves $100 every month for the car purpose. Now this rent is written here. If you remember what I said that if you're someone who lives in countries like the US, Canada, UK, you pay your rent every month. So your rent should be under your needs, definitely. But if you're someone who lives in a country like Nigeria and maybe some other African countries, I'm not sure how it works there, but here in Nigeria, if you're someone who lives here, we pay our rent every year. The rents are paid annually here. So I I would suggest that rather than fixing the rent under the needs, you take out the money and put it under your savings, since it's something you're going to pay at the end of the year, so that at the end of the year you won't have to struggle so much to pay for your rent. You just go to that part of your savings, take it out and settle your landlord wherever it is. So at the end of the day, the total for this is 400. I mean, there's no remainder in savings. You want to save more. So yeah, everything is complete here. The total is 400. I mean, I highlighted this part because it's relative depending on your situation. So at the end of this budget list, from what you can see here, I have money left from my needs, which is $116, and I have money left from my wants, which is $60. Now what I do in such situation is that I can either put this money into my investment plan, I can either put it into my savings plan, or I can, put some into my investment plan or my savings plan and then keep the remaining one for any emergency. I mean, things come up. You can wake up tomorrow morning and you're like, oh, we need to pay this, we need to do this, we need to do this, just impromptu, just like that. So I can either take out some, put it into my long-term savings plan, investment plan, whatever the plan is here, whatever the savings, I can just put in some and keep the rest for any emergency that comes later. So I mean, that is all. This is a very, very simple and easy budget list that I think anybody regardless of your income can create. You just go follow the 50-30-20 rule. I already taught you how to do the mathematics. Very simple and easy. Once you've gotten your income, you divide it all, put the amount that is meant for the needs, the ones that is meant for the wants, and the one that is meant for the savings, and write out what you need. I mean, you don't have to follow this because this is a personal budget list. This is something that the person needs. You can write out your own need. You might not even need to go to any movies. I mean, it's on you. So you determine what you need that month and you write it out, and just watch how much you would improve financially. So I hope that everything you have learned today will be very helpful to you. I mean, I took out my time to really do my research because I noticed that most of the budgeting videos I see on YouTube or online, most of them sometimes look like finance 101 or economics 101. I don't really get it. Most of them are a little bit confusing. Sometimes it looks like gibberish to me. I don't really understand most of them. So I took out my time to create a very simple, brief, short and comprehensive budget list for anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter whatever income you earn, as long as you can apply the 50-30-20 rule to whatever income you earn, you would have no problem. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and you took out 1 or 2 lessons from it. If you did, please kindly click on the red subscribe button to become a part of this family, so that you can be able to see much more videos like this from me, because on here I create perfume reviews and I also create self-improvement videos. That being said, I will see you on my next video.